Hey guys, James here with TCGU University, come back at you with another deck profile. Today I'm going to be showing you Travis's Quan deck. Make sure to show Travis some love down below for his Quan deck, and let's get into it. Okay guys, Quan is a 7/20 with Death, Evil, and Life. He has two abilities. E, twice per turn, remove one character from your discard pile. For the rest of the enhanced step, your starting character gains all enhanced abilities printed on the removed character. And then once per enhanced step, after your opponent plays an enhanced ability, this attack gets +1 or -1 damage. Always giving something -1 is really cool, and being able to do cool things with other characters you normally don't get to like play in tandem is pretty cool for a turn. So let me show you let me show you what we got. We got 3 Devora. Devora is has 2 abilities. E, your attack gets +1 damage for each 4 damage attack in your card pool. And then E, once per turn, your next check gets +X. X equals the number of attacks cards in both players' card pools. So yours and your opponent's, and just attack cards. This card works really well at extending our 20 life, as well as just making sure we pass a bunch of checks, just to make sure we get to do cool combos. Then we have Katana. Katana has 3 abilities. E, lose 1 vitality, your ranged or weapon attack gets +2 speed, +1 damage. E, once per turn, lose X vitality, just discard your opponent's attack with a printed difficulty of X. And then Desperation E, name a card type. If your opponent attempts to block with that named card type, their block modifier gets +2. The one thing to note is the cool thing that Quan gets to get around is the once per turn on characters. A bunch of these characters are going to say once per turn. Usually once per turn abilities are supposed to be so strong you only get to use them once per turn. But Quan gets around that by just playing a new character and getting a new copy of that enhance. So he gains this once per turn and then gains this once per turn. If he has a second Devora, he gains a second copy of that once per turn. Meaning he still only uses that once per turn once during that entire turn, but it's a separate instance of it. Next we're playing for Napalm Man. It's like a staple for our Quan in general right now. It says E, if your attack is not blocked, your opponent loses 2 vitality. Your opponent may discard 1 card to cancel that effect. And then E, once per turn, discard 1 card, add 1 attack from your discard pile to your hand. This says you can turn your attack with turn your hand of 1 attack into 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on how many you have in your discard pile. And just basically turn a not kill hand into a kill hand. We then have 3 Plant Man. It has 3 abilities as well. E, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Discard 2 of them. E, if your non-throw attack does damage, gain X vitality. Gain vitality equal to your momentum. And then E, your attack gets +1 speed for each of your momentum. So it pushes through attacks, gains you life to extend our 20 life as much as possible, as well as getting to know what our next check is to make sure we pass cool things on our attack turns. And kind of helps us ditch more characters if need be. Next we have Raiden, just 1 copy. E, destroy 1 foundation. Your opponent must play a non-attack card as their next form this turn or pass. So basically you remove this on defense, destroy a foundation, your opponent must play a non-attack card. And then E, destroy 1 foundation, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. Again, you can just do this and gain yourself a free momentum. And then E, if you have 6 or fewer foundations, you get to ready 3 of them. This lets you be aggressive early game if you need to be. Lets you play in and then ready a bunch of things. Super, super strong. Then we got 3 Xiang Mina. I think she is one of the best support she got. She is one of the best support that he got from these layer sets in concerns to characters. Form once per turn. Add 1 asset from your discard pile to your staging area. Only playable if your opponent has more committed than ready. You'll never use that. You don't use forms. You only use enhances. E, once per turn. This attack gets +3 speed and stun 3. If it's blocked, it comes back to your hand. This just says you're going to push an attack, and if not, it comes back to your hand. So who cares? Super nuts, stuns our opponent, makes an attack go through, and if not, it gives us more hand advantage to keep doing cool things. And it's reusable because you can just go use it this time, use it this time, use it again. It's just super, super strong. 1's a Solomel. This is the last of our characters. He has 3 abilities as well. Once per turn, this attack gets -5 speed. meaning you can just auto block something sometimes on defense. E, this attack gets plus X damage. X equals the difference between its current speed and its printed speed. R, after your opponent's blocked attack resolves. You'll never use that, so don't care about it. We are also playing 3 Templar. Now I'm going to move this Quan out of the way. Templar is a 1 mid block that says after you block with it, you get to gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. Okay, back in it, guys. Sorry, I had a little stumble there. 1 Swordfish 2. It's a 3/4, a 3 mid block, tech unique. E, add this card to your momentum. Add this attack to its owner's momentum. It basically just says auto ditch an attack from the card pool so you don't have to deal with it. You let your opponent just super buff an attack that they think is going to kill, or that they're trying to just make you block or make you do something that you don't want to do, and you just kind of swordfish it away and just don't have to deal with it. We're then playing 2 Caliuga. It's a 3/6 with a 2 mid block. E, commit. If you have 6 or fewer foundations, you add 1 safer weapon attack from your card pool to your hand. Basically, getting to reuse an attack is really neat. And then R, commit. After one of your foundations leaves your staging area or is committed due to your opponent's effect, your opponent adds 1 foundation to their card pool. Basically, just deters your opponent from stunning you or from trying to blow up your staging area. It just makes them have to think twice about it. 1 Quan Fortress. It's a 2/5 with the 2 high block. R, lose 3 vitality after a card is played. Copies of that card cannot be played for the rest of the turn. Playable by either player. This basically says if you know your opponent's going to play multiple copies of a single card. One of the best examples is AGS with or Air Ground Smash with Getaway Fire. You play Air Ground Smash, draw 3, play Getaway Fire, or draw X, play Getaway Fire, pick it back up, do a bunch of things. If you know that's what they're going to be doing, you can just stop it automatically. If you know your opponent has multiple shotguns in hand, stop it on the first one. If you know your opponent's about to play the new Shadow Slicer from Inferno Support, on their first one, you just go, nope, not going to play it for this turn. And it just kind of shuts that entire thing down. It also has the ability to E once per turn, just gain a life, which is also pretty sweet. 1 Spiritual Shooting Ring. It's a 2/5 with a 2 mid block. E, commit flip. Your opponent adds the top card of their discard pile to their card pool. And then E, remove double this range attack's damage. Doubling damage on an attack is super, super nuts, especially if you know you're going to hit with it. Especially when you have Xiang Mina sitting in the wait, just to be able to go stun 3 speed. I'll double this damage. This hits you, I win. If it doesn't, it comes back to hand, I'll do something else. Like, it just puts your opponent in a bad situation. 2 Omega Sword and Owl Shield. While it's ready, you get to block things for free, ignoring progressive difficulty. And then E, check it forward. This attack gets a damage bonus equal to its block modifier. So you make your things hit harder, and you get to block things for free, which is super good, especially in a character that gets to manipulate other characters' good abilities as well as have a damage debuff on his own. It just creates bad scenarios for your opponent when you start loading up on things. 1 Omega Sword and Owl Shield. It's a 1/6 with a 1 mid block. You can block with this from your staging area as though it were in your hand. After you block with it, the attack still deals 1 damage. So if you half block something that's supposed to deal like 6 on a half block, it still only deals that 1, not the 6. If you block this on like an on block, which like shotgun, it has a base 7 damage, but says it deals half. No matter what, it'll only deal 1. And then E, twice per turn, you can flip 1 foundation, and both players will commit a face-up foundation. This is very good for stunning your opponent out on defense. This works really well with Raiden, so like you can commit a bunch of your staging area if you have 6 or fewer foundations, and then remove Raiden and ready them all. It just leads into some cheeky combos. And then the last asset we're playing is Flambear. It's a 0/5 with a 1 mid block with Breaker 1 unique weapon. Has 3 abilities. E, this attack gets +1 or -1 speed if it's a high. E, this attack is +1 or -1 speed if it's mid. And E, this attack is +1 or -1 speed if it's a low. That's its only abilities. That's all it does, but it's strong in both offense and defense. On to our attacks. Like I said, always watch out for shotgun. It's a 5/3 with a 2 high block, 4 mid for 7. Breaker 1 ranged. It's basically what you use Spiritual Shooting Ring on. You double this, it deals half. And then you just know, because it gets the buff and you double it up, it should just kill your opponent. E, this attack gets +1 damage for each printed resource symbol in your card pool that matches a resource symbol with your character. And then E, if this attack is completely blocked, it still deals half damage, rounded up. Then Deadlock E, you get to destroy 3 of your opponent's foundations. This card's just really good because it allows you to play a bunch of things that match your symbols, and then play this at the end of a chain, and it just gets hella beefy. We got 4 Shield Big Bang. It's a 6 high for 6, 2 mid block, 5/3. Life form card pool. Remove 1 asset. Play this attack again. And then E, discard momentum. Add 1 asset from your discard pile to your staging area. This card just lets you repeatedly play things, especially when you have a multitude of assets in your staging area. It just says play free attacks, which is just super strong by itself as well. Then we got the 1 moon set. We really only have 1 moon set in our little squad here. It's a 5/3, 3 high for 6 with a 2 high block Fury safe weapon. You can make it lose the safe to gain powerful 5, which is really strong. Gives it a super high kill potential. And then E, add 1 of your opponent's foundations to their hand. And then if you have 6 or fewer foundations, you can add 1 card from your hand to your momentum, basically fueling that powerful 5, which is super, super strong by itself. I wish we had more copies of this because I have a couple of cool decks I want to play with it, but we just don't have them. 3 Dirty Bow. It's a 5/3, 4 low for 6 with a 1 low block that has Breaker 2 safe and weapon. Its only ability is E, destroy 1 foundation. Your next attack this turn gets -2 difficulty and +2 damage, meaning you play a thing for cheap and it hits harder. All for the price of 1 foundation that you probably committed for something. Probably committed to pass this check. Like, it just, having that free damage and the free play, especially when we play a lot of 5 diffs, just means that things are going to come in super juicy. Then we're playing 3 Skull. It's a 5/3 with a 5 high for 4 with a 1 high block. Powerful 3 ranged. Or after your opponent plays an enhance ability during this attack, it gets 2 speed for free. And then E, gain X vitality. X equals the number of characters in your remove from game pile. So towards the end of the game, you just get to, after removing a bunch of things, you just kind of live forever and kind of like outlast your opponent just by gaining a bunch of life. The last of our 2 attacks are 3 Velocity Hammer. It's a 4 low for 4, 3 low block, 4 diff, 3 control. It's a punch, but its enhance is add 1 foundation from your staging area to your momentum, fueling the powerful, fueling all of our cool abilities, fueling the Shield Big Bang, just fueling all of the cool things we want to do, as well as just being a cool just poke that no one wants to block. Like, it doesn't do a whole lot to block this, but sometimes it gives you momentum for later. Then the last stack we're playing is Nouveau Soleil. It's a 4/3, 1 high block, 3 high for 5. Charge reversal weapon. E, if this attack was played as a reversal, you get to ready 2 foundations that have not been ready this combat phase. Shout outs to Raiden for readying all your stuff, right? Then E, if this attack is not blocked completely, you get to commit your opponent's character. You get to stop your opponent's character. Literally. They have to block this completely, or you stun their character. Just super, super strong ability. It's just hard to deal with, and it forces you to deal with it. 3 over the top. It's a 2/5, 2 high block that ignores progressive difficulty. That just kind of just says you get to block for cheap. It allows you to add it to your card pool, which is super strong with your Spear Shotgun as well, giving you +2 damage to all of your attacks for every single one you have to your shotguns. It's just a super strong card all around with shotgun. 3 Keiko Zaid. It's a 2/5 with a 3 high block that says after you block your opponent's next attack that he plays gets +2 to its difficulty. It just says that we get to pseudo breaker 2 things when we block. Like I said, we are a small boy, and not a small boy, but we are a 7-hander, so we have less life than a lot of other characters, and being able to make sure they don't play as many attacks is pretty neat. Next, we're playing 3 Passing the Torch. It's a 2/5 with a 3 mid block that says enhance commit. Either draw 1 card, or if you have no cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. Super strong, keeps your hand advantage up on defense and on offense. You can do some cheeky things by readying this with Raiden, doing other things like draw this, destroy it with other things, do cool things. Just a lot of possibilities as well as just draw potential. We're playing 2 Prophetic Fulfillment. It's a 2/5 with a 3 low block that says you can change the zone of this attack to mid, and then E commit. If your attack has 1 or fewer keywords, it gets +2/+2, and then it doesn't count towards progressive difficulty for the rest of the turn. Then we got 2 Bakery Poster Girl. It's a 2/5 with a 2 low block that says E destroy reduces attack speed to 0. Only playable if your opponent has played more than 3 enhance abilities this combat phase. That's from beginning of the step to the end of the step. If they played 3 enhances, you can use it. If they played 3 enhances on the first one but not any on the second one, you can still use it. Like, it's just a super nuts card that says your opponent's not allowed to just go too overboard with a bunch of free abilities. We're playing 3 All-Powerful Sorcerer. It's a 2/4 with a 3 high block. Our commit flip, discard 1 character after an enhance ability is played on a non-character card. You get to cancel it, which is super nuts, especially when we play all these characters and we remove characters from our discard pile, not our hand. So we discard them, remove them. It also has the ability to E once per turn, discard a card with a printed control of 6. All characters have printed controls of 6. And then you get to draw a card. So it replaces the character you don't need with something else that you could want, as well as putting one in the discard pile to just remove later anyways. Super strong, negates and draws. Super cool. 3 Betrayed by Family. It's a 2/5 with a 3 mid block. After your opponent's combat phase begins, this readies. So you'll always have this face up. And then this basically just says if your opponent tries to reduce the damage of your stuff, you get to commit one of their foundations as well. It's basically like a 1-for-1. If you're not going to let me do my things, I'm not going to let you stop me from doing my things. And then it readies, so you don't have to worry about committing it at all. 2 Nightmare Terrors. It's a 2/4 with a 3 low block that says you get to block for free. It's the main purpose of this card most of the time. Because when you go to block something, you reduce the speed of that attack to 0. So just being able to just go, man, that's a really fast nutcracker. That's a really fast missile launcher. I'll block on a 3. Like, just being able to just not die automatically to like missile launcher and nutcracker and all that is super needed. 1 Rhythmic Fighting Style. It's a 2/5 with a 2 high block with breaker 1. E commit if this attack is completely blocked, you remove it from the game. You do this before the damage step, meaning that if you block a throw with this or you block like a shotgun, it removes it before it'll even touch you with damage, which is super nuts because who wants to take damage? 1 New Shipmate. It's a 2/5 with a 2 high block. Ally unique. E commit. This attack gets -2 damage and you gain 1 vitality. This just kind of extends our life total a little bit. It's really good to gain life, nake some damage, nake some more with our own character, and block, and then be able to live just longer. The more you live, the more time you get to try and kill your opponent. 1 Last of His Kind. Same thing here. It's a 2/5 with a 2 low block. E lose to vitality. This attack is -4 damage. It's a minimum of 1, but minimum of 1 is less than like 4. That's 3 less life you have to deal. You have 3 more life you have to deal with. Desperation E, you get +2 damage, and then Deadlock E, you also get +2 damage. Meaning your opponent's not allowed to put you at Desperation, or you get to just get a bunch of damage, or go to Deadlock, or you'll get to do a bunch of damage as well. 1 Confronting Jeddah. It's a 2/5 with a 2 high block, unique. E once per turn, this attack gets +X or -X damage. X equals the difference between its attack speed and its printed speed, or the current attack speed and its printed speed. Works kind of the same way as the Solomel. Basically just making sure that one of our attacks hits really, really hard and we make it really, really fast. 4 Reborn Human. This card ignores progressive difficulty when playing attacks. It's a 1/5 with a 2 mid block that says our card pool. After an attack deals damage, you get to gain 1 life. This works really well with our attacks. If they don't count towards progressive, so we don't have to worry about it, which means while in the card pool, it gives damage to our shotguns and whatnot. While on defense, if our opponent hits us, we gain life. While on offense, if we hit our opponent, we gain life. Or if they reversal us on that turn as well, we gain life. Like I said, extending our life total is what we want. The longer we live, the more chances we have to kill our opponent. Then we're playing 3 Saved by a Child. It's a 1/5 with a 2 low block. E destroy if you have 6 or fewer foundations. This attack gets -4 speed. And then E destroy, this attack gets -2 speed. Playable while committed. This card is just speed hate to make sure we get to block, as well as just foundation control on our side, if we need to stay out of Deadlock, as well as a spam. There's not actually a lot of spam in this deck. I think it could have used more spam, but that's just my opinion. 2 Habitual Smoker. It's a 1/5 with a 3 mid block. You can lose a vitality to gain 2 if an attack does not deal damage. You only really use it if you know you're going to block something full, or if you know your opponent's going to block yours full. Like I said, I'll say it a bunch of times when talking about 7-enders. Extending our health to the maximum possibility we can is just going to help us win games in the long run. So that's about it, guys. Thanks again for checking out the profile, guys. Make sure to show Travis some love down below for his Quan deck. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/TCGUniversity. Make sure to check out the YouTube at youtube.com/TCGUniversity. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, guys. And as always, stay learned.